And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the beautiful Dartmouth Curling Club on a lovely Wednesday afternoon, as it is draw 4 action of the 2020 Deloitte Tankard, here presented by our awesome crew at 360 Live, powered by Bell 5. I'm John Seifman, here with you, bringing you all the coverage from Sheet D, as it will be the Battle of the Brothers, Stuart Thompson versus Kendall Thompson. As you can see, teams finishing up with the last stone draw to determine the last rock. So we'll just talk a little bit about the matchup here. Stuart Thompson, of course, he is coming into this tournament red hot. He's the defending champion, team curling out of the Dartmouth Curling Club. Currently running a 3-0 record into this battle that they always look forward to between the two brothers. And then, Kendall and his team looking to keep their hopes alive of potentially making their way to the Tim Hortons Briar, as they currently sit at a 1-2 record. We'll give a rundown on the team. Stuart Thompson curling out of the Dartmouth Curling Club. Their lead is Travis Coulter. Their second is Cameron McKenzie. Their third is Colton Steele. And their skip is Stuart Thompson. And Team Kendall Thompson curling out of the Halifax Curling Club. Their lead is Michael Brophy. Their second is Chris McRae. Their third is Bryce Everest. And their skip is Kendall Thompson. So I was talking to the third, fourth team, Stuart Thompson, that would be Colton Steele. And they seemed pretty positive there with how they've been playing so far. They have definitely been saying how they really got a handle on the ice conditions early, and especially in an event like this where it's a little bit different than what you would experience in the club ice situations there. It's one of those ones where you really have to get a handle on it early, because again, with it being a round robin of 7 games, you really need to be prepared for anything. So again, it's one of those ones to really be prepared for throughout the tournament. And again, keeping positive is always the key, and they've definitely been saying there how their positive energy so far through 3 games has really kept them confident, and it's something that we'll definitely look for going into a great game here today. As we get started with this first end, we see Travis Coulter, the lead for Team Stuart Thompson, kicking it off. So that means that Team Kendall Thompson won the last stone draw, and we'll have the last rock here in end number 1. So as we do have this game here in front of you this afternoon, we have 3 other games in play. As on Sheet B, it will be Brent McDougall versus Andrew Gibson. In our other feature game on Sheet C with Jim Nix, it is a battle of youth versus experience, as it will be Alan O'Leary, the former world senior champion, facing off against Matt Manuel, the longtime junior representative, now making his mark in the men's ranks. And finally, last but not least, a pretty familiar matchup on Sheet E, as it'll be Jamie Murphy, the former champion, having won this event, I believe, if I remember correctly, 3 years in a row. Yeah, 16, 17, and 18. They were your champions of the Deloitte Tankard, and they will be facing off against their longtime foes, former Tankard runners-up, Chad Stevens. Actually, interesting with that matchup, simply in that one of those finals that Jamie won over Chad, Paul Fleming, who's now the third for Team Murphy, was the one throwing the last rocks in that event. Came down all the way to an extra end, and unfortunately a little bit heavy on the final draw, and that gave Team Murphy the title. But as you know, anything can happen in a big event like this. As we get started, we'll run down on the rules for any of you who may not be familiar with how some of these events go about. We do play 10 ends of play in provincial play-down competition. That is a little bit different than what you see at the events on the World Curling Tour, or that you would see maybe potentially in your club. A little bit, excuse me, a little bit longer. And each team has 38 minutes of thinking time, and if it happens that we come down to it and the teams are still not separated, we will go to an extra end to decide it. That's what Team Stuart Thompson needed to defeat Alan O'Leary, as it was a 9-8 victory for them in that contest. As we now have run down a little bit about the way we're going to be seeing things go this afternoon, we're already deep into the first end. Team Thompson with a stone at the back of a foot sitting shot stone, and a little bit of a biter at the top of the 12 belonging to Team Stuart Thompson. So, as you have seen a little bit throughout the competition, unlike where in the Scotties event, it seems like, at least to me personally, that teams have played it a bit more conservative. Lots more rocks in play here in this draw. As you see now here, Cameron McKenzie of Team Thompson, Sweeper's working on it there. Steele and Coulter. Beautiful draw, freezes it to the back of the 4-shot stone. A reminder, if you want to get involved in the conversation and maybe send me your questions or comments about the game or the tournament at hand, you can send us a tweet. My Twitter handle is @JohnSiteman, so that's JOHNSITEMAN. Or you can use the hashtag Deloitte Tankard 2020, and I'll do my best to try to answer anything that you may want to know as we go toward determining our champions, headed off to the Tim Hortons Brier, this year taking place at the Leon Center in Kingston, Ontario, coming up February 29th to March 8th. And of course, who knows, maybe you may see the winner. Of course, you'll see the winner of that event head off to the World Championships taking place in Glasgow. So Colton just putting up a guard here just off center line, protecting their shot stone at the back of the 4, sitting frozen. So it looks like you're going to see Kendall calling on his third Bryce Everest to at least go to peel the front stone belonging to Team Stuart Thompson. Sweeper's working on it there. Gets a hit, rolls it to the side, and opens it up nicely. Of course, exciting to see here coming into the 4th round of the 7-game round robin. Of course, I would always characterize rounds 4 through 6 is what you would call a almost moving day a little bit, as teams look to either jump ahead and solidify their spot in the playoff rounds, or could be the points where maybe some people's Tim Hortons Briar dreams end up unfortunately coming to an end. So setting up really nicely for a potential steal opportunity for Team Stuart Thompson. So Bryce Everest looking for the peel once again, try to open up a bit more of an opportunity. There, gets the hit, bounces the yellow belonging to their team over to the side, still leaving a corner guard. So quickly there you see Stewart put the brush down and calling for, again, replacing that guard, put the pressure on as always. So always a really good matchup there for the two brothers there. Every time you see them meet, they've only faced off 2 times this season on the World Curling Tour, and it was a 5-2 victory for Team Stuart Thompson at the Mayflower Cash Spiel, the Dave Jones, and December 6th at the Jim Sullivan Classic, it was a 7-1 victory in favor of Stewart's team as well. So Stewart's stone, which I believe was an attempt at a guard based on what they had put down, comes a little bit deep, coming in top 12. So opportunity potentially for a bit of a run back to try to get out of this end. Here from Kendall Thompson. The skip out of the Halifax Curling Club with his first of 2 with the last rock in this first end. Sweeper's working on McRae. Gets the peel, no rub on the blue shot stone. So looks like they're aiming for top 4 probably is what originally Colton was aiming at. To me, if I were playing this type of shot, you're looking almost at what Cameron was just showing, of almost placing it exactly similar to what you just threw, and then force Kendall into a draw, because in this instance, after playing a pretty upweight hit, that's kind of what you need to do, to just adjust a little bit on the weight control. So teams taking a little bit of time to decide this one here. A lot more than what you would normally see during a first end. But again, with 10 ends of play, you always have a little bit of extra time to be able to get a feel for how the game is going and maybe bank some time for later stages in the game. Final stone here for Stuart Thompson without the last rock in end number 1. Sweepers working on it here, McKenzie and Coulter. Well executed there, but I think it does leave a little bit of an opening. Yeah. The big question is how much movement can you really get? To me, I'm looking there, seeing that you can probably go a little bit aggressive on the weight and maybe play off the right at the shot stone, but looks like we may be going for a little bit of fun early here, as it looks like they may be going for the in-off off their own to try to get 3. Final stone here, and number 1, Kendall Thompson looking for the in-off for 3. Sweeper's working on it here. Gets the hit. Oh, and will just slide off the side. So it will be a steal of 1 for Stuart Thompson to open up his accounts here on a Wednesday afternoon. Here at the Dartmouth Curling Club, draw 4 action of the 2020 Deloitte Tankard here, live from the Dartmouth Curling Club. A reminder, if you are in the area and want to come on down and watch some awesome curling there, you can join us at the Dartmouth Curling Club on Canal Street. I forget what the cost of admission is, but it's a fairly inexpensive opportunity to come and watch some of the top curlers in Atlantic Canada, if not the country, battle it out for the opportunity to head on to the Tim Hortons Briar. So as we get started with this second end, we see there Travis Coulter just setting up the center guard, and immediately Kendall calling on Michael Brophy to play the draw in around. And of course, exciting times here with the curling world, as there's a few major events there, whether it be provincial playdowns headed toward the Tim Hortons Briar and the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and of course, one of the big pieces of news there today from Lausanne, Switzerland. It was a amazing win there for Newfoundland and Labrador, as it was Nathan Young out of Torbay, Newfoundland, who alongside his Hungarian partner in the mixed doubles took home the gold medal in Lausanne, winning 6 straight games to take home that gold medal. Perhaps reminiscent of his idol and pretty significant name in the curling world, some guy named Brad Gushu, but yeah, I think Nathan Young is definitely going to make a name for himself there with that gold medal performance in Lausanne. Brophy trying to play around that guard, but looks like it's going to come up light. Sweepers working on that just enough to get over the center line. We'll just keep you up to date there with all the games there as they've now completed their first ends. Brent McDougall with a single in end number 1 against Andrew Gibson. So Gibson will have the last rock in end number 2 in our other feature game, with Jim Nix is a 2 in favor of Alan O'Leary against Matthew Manuel. And sounds like it's going to be an interesting change to that Manuel lineup, as you have Taylor Ardeel jumping in at lead stones there. Ardeel, originally he won this event last year there alongside Stuart Thompson, now curling there with a different rink which missed out in qualifying, so I believe he joined it up as a 5th, and now jumping on today. And in the battle of Murphy and Stevens, it is a 1-0 lead for Chad Stevens. So big weight here from McRae, looking to what appears to double out the 2 blue, but we'll just get the far blue solid, so still shot stone, just the single, and the blue pretty locked in.
Yeah, I know.
Sweepers working on this one here, Steele and Coulter. Nice result. The question is, does that set up an opportunity to double both out? It's the big question is, can you get it by the guard enough? So we see there Chris McRae, a little bit down weight here, looking to rearrange a few of those blue stones, try to nudge around, and does go a little bit wide, but pushes his stone in what appears to be a bit better position. Excuse me. A good opportunity here for Colton Steele, but it looks like Cameron McKenzie calling a little bit weight up, so not wanting to sweep unless they have to. Coulter watching it, and it will come down a little bit. Where will it go? It does come to rest, biting the top of the 4-foot, sitting second and third, and fourth for that matter, but opportunity here for Kendall now to potentially call them, move a bit of that clump around. To me, you're probably playing down onto that stone just thrown by Colton Steele. You may lose your back one depending on how thick you land it, but gonna be interesting to see here. Brophy and McRae working this one, looks wide to me. We'll sail right by. Question is now, will Stewart make his move on this end? Because now you could have an opportunity to play down and remove that yellow stone sitting shot and maybe put the pressure on just that little bit more. We all know in the battle Thompson versus Thompson, though the two brothers do take every game extremely seriously, whether it's on the World Curling Tour or on the provincial circuit, they definitely take this game just that little bit more seriously. That battle of family pride at Skips Stones. Coulter working on this one, trying to hold the line. McKenzie jumping back in. Coulter doing his best to hold it there. Will get the hit, nudges the yellow to the back of the 8, sitting 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be an interesting situation here now. With those 3 clumped in, you can probably remove at least 2 of them. It all comes down to really how hard you want to throw it, and you're going to probably lose your shooter on almost every possibility that I can see. Nice to see curling fans of all ages there throughout the Dartmouth Curling Club. I see everyone from longtime members to even a few newborns in the audience there.
Well, we're both off.
One of my lawn bowls friends, Mark Robar, and his little one there, overwatching some of the action.
We're both off.
So a little bit of a sail
Yeah, I took Christmas.
past that one. Maybe
And Michelle.
gonna need a bit of opportunity to protect that clump. So Stewart looking at that danger and seeing the possibility of guarding on the left side of center of your screen.
So she goes Monday, Tuesday to day. She's off today, which is like a party. And then she goes Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday is at parties. Hey, she was like, at the beginning, she was like, more recently, she was like, just seeking it. Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like it will be calling on
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
that guard
Price flashing.
there.
That's it. Maybe you're just outside.
So on the skip stones here, we see Stuart Thompson, the defending champion.
It's like we don't do the night jobs. It is very busy. So hang on,
Actually, from what I remember, I think this
they have a lot of senior.
rink was this sheet specifically was the one there that everybody on Team Thompson remembers quite well, as I believe this was the one that they did play off for that Tankard title against Jamie Murphy, and it came out with them picking up the victory. A fun day in January for sure. So guard set up nicely. Now really a situation where there's some trouble for Team Kendall.
It's fun. Yeah, why not try? And those as well.
Needing to find a way around that. The question is, honestly, I haven't seen many of these
Yeah, they have. Yeah, well, when you push too.
rocks on this sheet curling as far as as what they need to probably get behind cover.
Yeah, guys, yeah, that's great.
This is only the
I can't even watch this a little bit, but I can point back.
second time
We're not going.
there that
Yeah, it's on the glass. Yeah.
that Brent, sorry, my apologies, that Kendall has been on this sheet.
Look right there. Oh, nice.
As they played it here in draw 2.
Oh, damn.
Sweeper's working on that one there, but coming up just a little bit short.
Yeah, he's a wild.
And now he can do all the
One.
even if service
Yeah.
So it looks like you're going to see
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
an opportunity to
How are you? Thumbs up? Yeah, she went swimming today. She did really well at swimming.
remove that stone. They're belonging to Kendall Thompson's rink, and maybe manufacture multiple here. Final stone 4. Stewart without the last rock. That trademark big weight from them. Sweepers working out their Coulter. gets the hit, slides it out the side, will sit a count of 3. So quickly, Everest puts the brush down. A good chunk of the forefoot's what you need.
So every time she has a female these last 2 times she's had a she's like, the first time I did it,
And honestly, it's a situation that is a little bit easier than you'd think there, is just simply in the fact that he just threw that one just last end there, I believe. Well, actually, like just last shot, pretty much. Sweepers right off on this one there. Brophy and McRae needs to stop. Colton's going to jump on that one, and it will... Whoa. Not what we thought we'd be seeing here on a Wednesday afternoon. It will be a steal of 3 for Stuart Thompson, as he'll take a 4-0 lead in this matchup. We do know there that it's anything can happen there, as it was pretty much that case during the Colleen Jones matchup against the Team Matatall rink, skipped by Colleen Pinckney. But then Pinckney came back and really made the game very interesting. It came right down to the last end of before we figured out who would end up taking home that matchup. So now you're going to see a little bit of a more straightforward style now, being able to hopefully defend that 4-0 lead there, Team Thompson.
Just for the sale of the tickets, because I didn't talk it around here, and I can. So just if we have an idea of what is our maximum number. Yes, yeah.
Sweepers working on this one there. Everest and McRae sweeping for lead Brophy to set up the corner guard.
Thank you. Great.
Of course, it's very interesting to see there the difference in the game over really the past decade there, when we think of it in the context of the change we've seen really over from let alone 2010, where just before that you were usually using running time, and it resulted in a bit of a more defensive style, and people had just gotten used to the four rock free guard zone rule. There, of course, popularized by Russ Howard and became the standard for the game over really the past 20 years. And then now you see a lot of these teams now really getting familiar with the 5 rock free guard zone rule, which gives you a few more chances to be aggressive and utilize corner guards for your advantage. So second stones here, Cameron McKenzie, the new addition to this lineup this season. And what an opportunity for him there. He's been been one of those ones on the circuit who has been really pushing to try to get up into the top tier and has really been playing extremely well, and joining the Stuart Thompson rink has been a pretty good opportunity for him to be able to show off his skills. McRae working on this one here, looking for the takeout at the stone at the 12-foot. Gets the hit, rolls over to the side. Will it come in to bite? It will not, based on what I can see there. Do you know what the second end was for the manual game? Oh, they're just picking up. Okay. Okay, as we just were waiting to get an update there, we do have these through the second end on all the 4 sheets, as it will be a single point recovery there in the game on sheet B, as Andrew Gibson takes a single to tie it up against Brent McDougall. In our other feature game with Jim Nix on sheet C, it was a blank end in the matchup between Matt Manuel and Alan O'Leary. So Manuel will retain the last rock in end number 3, playing the Blue Stones over there. And in the other my apologies, in our other game, it is Jamie Murphy, the 3-time champion, looking to jump back up and take home the title. He takes a deuce in end number 2 to lead Chad Stevens. On this game, big weight here from Colton Steele. Moves some granite around and nothing up in the free guard zone for Bryce to play with on this one. So we'll kind of tease our next end. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming Tim Hortons Briar. A lot of these provinces yet to be determined, but I know there are a bunch of representatives that have already been determined for who will be headed off to the big event coming up at the Leon Center. So Stone goes to top 8. The big question now, what weight are you going to see thrown at this one there? You're pretty likely there, knowing the style that Stuart and his team play, the spot where Stuart just put the brush is almost exactly where he wants to hit it. And that's where it's going to be big weight here. McKenzie and Coulter gets the hit, doubles it out, and we'll sit a count of 3. And that's really the characteristic style there of Colton Steele, the former Optimist under 18 international champion, as a skip in his own right. Joining up a few years ago there with Stuart Thompson, and really this rink has been red hot. So gets the hit, rolls off. So on to skip stones here. Stuart Thompson probably looking to replace that stone just removed by Kendall's ring. Stuart Thompson here, first of two. Looks pretty good to me here. You just got to get it to break that little bit more. Got to go there, boys. Colts are working on it there. Will be a little bit off of center more than what he'd probably hoped. So it produces an opportunity here for Kendall to play down toward the button area. That characteristic style there of Kendall as he pushes out of the hack. Looks like it's going to need to go. Sweeper's working on it there. Brophy and McRae just came by. Where will you get it there, boys? Will get it corner frozen on the inside. They're trying to get it more toward the nose, maybe a little bit down weight, probably resulted in that over curl. It's a good result though, because it does leave the possibility at a multiple still alive, as it is pretty buried. You can't really go at that hard as much and have a straight removal. So yeah, really interesting to see the amount of time taken there already. Like, this early in the matchup, you really don't see many of these games, the first 5 ends, especially in this event specifically, really using this much. But again, every shot will potentially matter as it leads toward the differences in maybe tiebreakers or maybe trips to the semifinals and the finals. So you got to be prepared for anything. So on here to final stone for Stuart Thompson without the last rock. Looking to play a little bit of an aggressive tap, it looks like to me. Sweeper's working on this one here, Coulter, McKenzie. Really working this one nicely. Question is how far will it go? It will come out just to the top of the 8 foot. So really, the question is, what can you do here? If you're Kendall Thompson, it may seem crazy, but it's almost one of these situations where you played the in-off earlier in the game. Maybe that's your best possibility at a multiple. You really need a multiple here. Like, to me, you could go like a down weight on the outturn side, but the question is, would you be able to hold your stone in the 4 foot? I don't believe you. So going for the in-off. Final stone here in number 3, Kendall Thompson. McRae calling weight up there. Brophy already jumping in on the sweep. They're trying to get there close. There gets the hit. Will appears to be a count of 2. I would say so. So it will be a deuce for Kendall Thompson. Great in-off from him to open up his accounts on a Wednesday afternoon. It will be a 4-2 lead for Team Stewart, and they'll have the last rock in end number 4, playing the Blue Stones.
I know, that's right.
Of course, as we get started here with this 4th end of play, we see Michael Brophy kicking us off. We did mention there that there are already a lot of teams that are either set to be determined or already determined for the upcoming Tim Hortons, Briar, and Kingston. We'll tell you about a few of them that the winner of this event will see. As one of our representatives from Atlantic Canada already said, it will be Brian Cochran, Ian McCauley, Morgan Curry, and Marco Rorick, curling out of the Cornwall Curling Club, representing Prince Edward Island. That's going to be an interesting team, as you have a few Islanders by birth, now playing out of Ontario, but the opportunities arose there with the rules that you do have for residency, and to be able to come back home and play. They went undefeated to win that Prince Edward Island qualifier, so they'll be a tough team to beat. As we see that stone there comes to rest top of the button. Sweeper's not even touching this one there from Brophy. Needs it to come down a little bit. Where will it go? Will it touch that stone there of Team Stewart? Thompson, and just pushing it a little bit more onto the button. An opportunity for Travis Coulter to protect that one a little bit. Looks like he's going to draw. But top 8 was, I believe, the call, from what I just saw there. So one of the other teams already determined, as well as the team out of Nunavut. as another interesting team. It will be Jake Higgs, Dale Kohlenberg, Christian Smitheram, and Ed McDonald, curling out of the Iqaluit Curling Club, that will be headed off representing that Northern Territory. Coulter gets that one to back four, sitting 1-2. And then, of course, one of the teams that is always one of the toughest in the world. He's always the Team Kevin Cooey, Team Canada. Out of the Glencoe, Kevin Cooey, BJ Neufeld, Colton Flash, and Ben Hebert. They had a great run last year to be able to take home the title, defeating longtime provincial foes Brendan Botcher 4-3 in the next, 4-3 in the final. Botcher was team wildcard, and that's actually one of those opportunities that many teams wouldn't have even thought of having the opportunity to have just that few years ago. But once the wild card is determined, big weight there from Mackenzie, gets the hit, clears out the yellows. Shotstone will belong to Stuart Thompson, but looks like an opportunity now that it will be able to be blanked and maybe move the hammer over to end number 5. Sweeper's not even touching this. Gets a hit. Stewart will sweep it just that little bit out. Looks like a bit of frustration there. As we'll see, big weight here from Mackenzie will get the hit, clears out everything. And I guess it's one of those situations like we talked about during the last Team Stuart Thompson game that I called there with you, as we were together on, it was Tuesday morning in their matchup against Andrew Gibson. Just that ability to be relentless in getting a big lead and holding to it. And that exceptional hitting ability really being a major factor in a matchup like this.
Maybe after 5. Okay, yeah.
Sweeper's working on it. Just dusting this one off there. As Colton Steele. Bryce Everest here with his second and 2. Again, one of the other problems is that you'll see coming up with with their provincial qualifiers coming up. I believe it's next week in Ontario will be the 2020 Ontario Tankard. And that's going to be an interesting one this year with some pretty informed teams there. As you'll see, of course, Glenn Howard, who's won many events, including actually, I believe it was last year, won the 1824 Halifax Classic at the Halifax Curling Club, of which Team Kendall Thompson play out of, that Halifax Curling Club. And then, of course, John Epping and his rink, who really, they've always been a dominant force, and the additions of Ryan Fry and Brent Lang have been exceptional for that combination. And then, of course, Scott McDonald, Jonathan Book, Wesley Forget, and Scott Chadwick, who made it to the final at the Dave Jones Cash Spiel before, I believe, was losing in an extra end to Jamie Murphy. So Skip Stone's here. You saw a hit there from Kendall Thompson. Opportunity to respond from Stewart.
Oh, I know. Yes, I saw that.
Sweeper's kind of liking the weight there. Coulter, the former mixed doubles provincial champion, working on this one here. Gets the hit just enough. Gets the hit, rolls right out. Clean house here for Kendall Thompson here, going into his final stone in end number 4. Good to see a nice sized crowd here once again for the action. Again, if you're in the area, come on down to the Dartmouth Curling Club on Canal Street. We'll have action right through. Round robin ends Friday night, and then playoffs Saturday and Sunday. So Kendall calling on this one here, tries to get to the far corner, will get just enough. Makes it just that little bit harder there. Going out to the very, very wings of this sheet. Not as many people playing in this area that I've seen during the last few games there, so it'll be interesting to see how it reacts. Final stone with the hammer. And number 4, Stuart Thompson, looking for the blank. Coulter really pound and pebble on this one, gets the hit, and looks like it will just barely tap the edge. So it will be a single for Team Stuart Thompson to take a 5-2 lead through 4 ends here on a Wednesday afternoon from the Dartmouth Curling Club. So it will be Team Kendall Thompson that will have the last rock in end number 5 playing the Yellowstones. A reminder for our viewers that after this end, we'll have a short 5-minute break for the ice crew to do some maintenance there at halftime, and the teams will take a little break for some snack, like maybe a snack, and talk with each other about the first half, and then jump in shortly to the second half of the matchup. So following this one, we'll be able to take a little bit of a break, but stay with us. I'll be with you for all the coverage there right through to whatever the final stone may be. As we get started here with end number 4, we see Travis Coulter. Putting it right in there. Looks like it's going to come back 8 foot, just biting the back of the 4. We'll keep you up to date, as always, there with the matchups on all the other sheets there, as it is a 3-1 lead for Brent McDougall in playing the 4th end. It is a deuce in 3 for McDougall. In our other feature game with Jim Nix on sheet C, it is Matt Manuel that takes a deuce in end number 2, so that will be Team Alan O'Leary that will have the last rock playing end number 4. And then blank end in the third for Murphy and Stevens, and Chad Stevens will retain the last rock in end number 4, which I believe just finished up, so we'll keep you up to date on that. So Travis Coulter with that stone there. Comes the rest top of the 8, sitting 1-2. You're really going to need to see Team Kendall Thompson utilizing those corner guards to manufacture multiple here. So as quickly as we say that, looks like they're going to set up another just to make it the protection that little bit more. Gotta go here. Gets it by just enough. Stewart not having to worry much there, as they're up a pretty nice margin. They're up by 3. Cameron McKenzie here, second for Team Stewart Thompson. Update of the game that I just mentioned finished up the 4th end is a single for Chad Stevens, as he'll tie it up with his longtime rival Jamie Murphy. A little bit of noise coming there from Alan O'Leary, the former world senior champion, as he called on his sweepers to go, and go they did to get themselves a deuce against Matt Manuel to take a 4-2 lead through 4 ends of play. Sweepers working on this one here from McCrae. Big weight here for the Peel. Gets the hit. Flies right by, so only takes out the guard. The 2 shot zone still belonging to Stewart Thompson. Stay at either end of the 8 foot. Yeah, definitely interesting to see how well teams are getting a handle for the ice. Of course, it's a little bit different than what even Team Thompson as a Dartmouth Curling Club team would experience. They try to get it up faster for a big provincial event just simply because you want to mimic the conditions that you'll see at the Tim Hortons Briar on the arena ice. And with that, we do have to send a huge shout out to Tracy Froud and his crew at the Dartmouth Curling Club, who put in many hours there to get this ice in tip-top shape and do very well with their job. I always enjoy seeing a good surface like this because in the end, the better the ice, the better the shots will be, and the better the games you'll see for the viewers both here at the club and at home watching on the live streaming here with us. So opportunity here for Colton Steele to replace that guard once again, put the pressure back on to Kendall. Sweepers working on this one here. Coulter and McKenzie. Comes to rest center line. Pretty good result there from Team Thompson there. The third stone's here, Bryce Everest. Sweepers working on this one here, looking for the hit. Will get two of them moving, I think. Will it go? It will go just. It's a good result there to save it there. So opportunity now here with a little bit more separation. You're probably going to see Colton still protects that. Actually, no, it looks like he's not. Looks like he may be actually going in to the house. So opportunity to manufacture multiple. Looking nice here. Comes to rest. Right on the lid. Yeah, a little bit more curl on that side as the game's gone on, so that's an interesting factor that at least I've seen. Sweepers working on this one. There are McRae and Brophy trying to help out Everest Stone there as best they can. Looks pretty good. Will come to rest. Just a little bit corner for not completely frozen there, but almost. Update of the game over on sheet B as it will be a deuce in end number 4 for Andrew Gibson. So it looks like that's a complete deadlocked game there once again, as it will be tied up at 3 and Brent McDougall will have the last rock in end number 5. So on to skip stones here in end number 5 on our sheet, as it will be Stuart Thompson looking to play down pretty similar to the stone thrown by his third Colton Steele. I almost said Coulter, but that's his lead. Sweepers not really touching this one, waiting for it to come down a bit before making their way on. Sweepers now starting to go. Curling nicely. Where will it go? It looks like it's top 4 a bit to me. It does bump the shot stone. Tough to tell
Chris.
whether it's remain shot. So probably going to see a little bit of an aggressive shot here to try to remove the shot stone. The big danger there with the way it's positioned is you could be a little bit off and potentially remove your own, but it's a risk you kind of have to take. Down weights really needs to go here. It's all over the front here. Will jam once again. And that may fool them because it was just the way the ice has moved throughout the game. That was completely different than what we've been seeing. But opportunity here for Stuart Thompson to potentially lob and get another in the house and maybe put the pressure really on. Like most people would look at that and maybe see the opportunity to play the tiny bit of a run back and maybe sit a few, but it leaves a few potential opportunities for Kendall. That being said, literally as I just say that, maybe that's what they've decided to do. They are a very aggressive style team in their strategy. So looking to sit potentially upwards of 4 if it plays right. You have to be on almost where Colton Steele has his brush. Final stone 4, Team Thompson without the last rock. And number 5. Colts are working on this one here. Got to go. Gets the hit. Will nudge the back stone, but sits a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And really, it's going to be a very tough draw here if you can do it. You almost have to go for the. If it were me, I kind of have to go for at least a double on that intern side, and then maybe hope it squeaks through. The big question is, will it stay or will it go? All depends on how hard you throw it in the angle. Big shot here for Kendall Thompson. Final stone facing 4. Looking to keep his Tankard hopes alive. McRae working on this one here. Trying to go for it here. Looks like it is just enough there. It appears to us, yes, it will be a single point for Kendall Thompson as he will still trail by a score of 5-3. We'll have a short 5-minute break and we'll be back with second half coverage here in Draw 4 action from the Deloitte Tankard. We'll see you back after this break.
Okay. Interesting first half there. Sit down, back to it. So how's it going?
It's going. How about you?
Interesting game here. Like the steal in 2 was a really
Huge.
It was huge. And then Kendall was in real trouble. They're going into the 5th. Well, because he was facing 4, they're going into his final shot, and then he was able to.
Great shot. Well, that's good because otherwise he could have did it.
Well, to be perfectly honest, like he was just able to get the right angle just enough to be able to And, like, he almost had to play the double and squeak it through to get his single.
Okay. Well, now he's in steal mode.
Yeah, he's got to steal here or else.
And they're such a good hitting team.
Oh, 100%. Like, when you have, like, a team like when you have someone like Colton, like,
No, I know.
Colton's ridiculous on his hits.
I know. It really is. Oh, sure.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the Dartmouth Curling Club as it is draw 4 action of the 2020 Deloitte Tankard here. Presented by our awesome crew at 360 Live, powered by Bell 5. I'm John Seitman here, bringing you all the action from Sheet D as it's the Battle of the Brothers. Stuart Thompson, the defending champions with the 3-0 record, facing off against his brother and their team, Kendall Thompson, currently holding a record of 1-2. As it was a steal of 1 and a steal of 3 to open up the matchup, where Stewart came to a 4-0 lead before it was a 2 for Kendall in the third, a single on a little bit of a missed attempt on the blank attempt in 4, and then it was a lot of danger in that fifth end as Kendall was facing 4 going into his final stone, but was able to squeak it out just enough to take a single to put it to the 5-3 lead that we have for you going into the second half. As we get started here with end number 6. You already saw Travis Coulter put one down, and Brophy with 2 well-placed center guards. We'll give you a quick rundown on the teams since some of you may be tuning in right from the second half there. Team Stuart Thompson curling out of the Dartmouth Curling Club, their lead, as you saw there, and is just delivering his stone now, Travis Coulter. Their second is Cameron McKenzie. Their third is Colton Steele, and their skip is Stuart Thompson. They hold a 3-0 record through the round robin so far, with wins over Brent McDougall, Andrew Gibson, and an extra end victory over Alan O'Leary, 9-8 in last night's action. And Team Kendall Thompson curls out of the Halifax Curling Club. Their lead is Michael Brophy. Their second is Chris McRae. Their third is Bryce Everest, and their skip is Kendall Thompson. They hold a 1-2 record, but a very narrow record there, as it was a 7-6 loss in Monday action against Andrew Gibson. They defeated Brent McDougall by a score of 7-4, and then during last night's action, it was a 10-6 loss to Matthew Manuel, and that's where we hold up to now. As teams just getting started here with the fifth end, of course. Cameron McKenzie on our sheet gets the peel on that high guard. we'll keep you up to date, of course, with the games on the other 3 sheets. It is a deuce for Brent McDougall in end number 5 against Andrew Gibson. That one not looking like it's set out to follow the trend that I would jokingly call that the anything you can do, I can do better, with the McDougall took a single, Gibson took a single. McDougall took a double, Gibson took a double. So 5-3 lead, but again, very early in that 6th end action. The 5th end break just finishing up on our other feature game, as it is a tie game between Matthew Manuel and Alan O'Leary. Deuce in 5 brings that game to tied. Sweeper's working on this one from McKenzie, gets an appeal, rolls right out. And it will be a single for Chad Stevens, a steal of 1. Brings him to a 3-2 lead over Jamie Murphy on sheet E. And
Yes, he is.
And don't forget, if you want to stay up to date with all the results of the action here from the Dartmouth Curling Club all week, not only can you keep tuned into the action here, you can also check out the Nova Scotia Curling Association website. That is nscurl.com. So center guard still set up there, so definitely going to be interesting to see here. You really need, if you're Kendall Thompson, you need to force a steal in this end to get this game much closer. If you give Stewart the opportunity to score here, it would be very, very difficult to get back in. So third stone's here, Bryce Everest. Of course, we talk a little bit about the experience in the mixed double circuit there that Travis Coulter has on the Stuart Thompson side there. We all
If you guys want to get your
have to remember there
winning number here.
that, excuse me there,
The winning number is
just 1 second.
1450797, and you're going to take home $60.
0797?
my apologies there between a bit of a cough and them announcing the 50-50 number. It was a little bit tough to get in on that conversation there. We do mention there, so Travis Coulter and his wife there, who's also playing in this tournament. I commentated for her earlier in the event there as she's playing lead for Team Colleen Jones. The other one, which is interesting, is actually on the side of Bryce Everest, who he's also former mixed doubles provincial champion alongside Carly Jones, who is also playing in this event. Definitely one of those innovations of the game there, mixed doubles curling. as it does require a much different type of strategy than the team game. So interesting positioning here for this. Looks like Cameron looking at if they need it. If Team Kendall Thompson want to get a multiple, they probably have to utilize their center guards and then try to play like a double tap type shot. So pleading his case there for the potential for a draw to the top of the 8, blocking that from happening. And looks like that's what they'll put the brush down for. Skip stones here in end number 6, Stuart Thompson. Sweepers working on this one there. Coulter and McKenzie. Looks good to me there, so they just got to sweep it that a little bit more to get it there. Will not block off as much of that yellow double tap as they had hoped, but comes the rest top 8. A reminder there that we do have one more broadcast coming up today, as at 7 o'clock Atlantic time here on Sheet D. We will have draw 4 action of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, as it will be Tanya Hilliard and her team out of the Dartmouth Curling Club facing off against the legend herself, the number 3 greatest women's curler of all time according to a TSN story, and there that would be Colleen Jones. And that will be coming up at 7 o'clock. Jim Nix will have the call for you here on Sheet D. Final stone here without the last rock. Everest calling on it to go. How will you get it, boys? Gotta go. There you go. Appears to be the shot stone. But really, it's one of those situations where it may be open enough if you hit that stone just thrown by Kendall. You may be able to get it to move enough to potentially make 2 out of this. Stewart having a bit of an extra discussion there with his third Colton steal. Just getting a bit of a feel for where to place the broom for this. Could be a big opportunity to get a multiple back and really put a stranglehold on this contest. Final stone and number 6, Stuart Thompson facing a count of 1. Coulter dusting it off that little bit there. Mackenzie jumping in to get the curl on that stone. Will remove the shot stone and will get themselves a count of 1. So it will be a score of 6-3 in favor of Stuart Thompson going into the 7th end of play here at the Dartmouth Curling Club. So far it's been a pretty interesting event there through 3 games of play. And really, a few teams starting to jump into the top of the standings. Of course, 3 teams undefeated so far through 3 games, and that would be Jamie Murphy, Stuart Thompson, and Chad Stevens. Both, like all 3 of them, are at 3-0, but one will change for sure as Murphy and Stevens face off in this round here this afternoon. And that's followed by 3 teams at 1 and 2. That is Matt Manuel, Andrew Gibson, and Kendall Thompson. And then Brent McDougall and Alan O'Leary sit at 0-3, but long way to go. They're usually, I look after the standings after about round 5 of a 7-game round robin, and that really gets you a bit of a picture on how the event is going to be playing out toward the playoffs. Of course, a little bit different format than what some people may be familiar with a triple knockout event, which was what used to be the format in the provincial championship. Here, you play a 7-game round robin, and if the games do remain where there are ties for those top 3 spots, we'd have tiebreakers potentially on Saturday morning, and who knows, maybe potential for more there on Saturday afternoon. It has happened. Followed by semifinals, and then of course the championship finals on Sunday. Always an exciting time there, as we will have the Tankard final. That is the men's event there on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on sheet D, and then on sheet C will be the final for the Scotties Tournament of Hearts at 2:30. So Cameron McKenzie just getting the guard just barely outside the house. So sitting 1-2 right now. Chris McRae here. Oh, we'll let you know there. It looks like a big count of 3 on sheet E, as it will be a 5-3 lead in favor of Jamie Murphy now against his longtime rival Chad Stevens. So Cameron McKenzie gets the hit, rolls over a little bit to sit count of 2 and fairly buried for one of those stones. The shot stone is a little bit more open, but again, tough spot to get at still.
That's probably the better way to go. Just have that. You've been doing run backs all day. Yeah, I know. Missed any.
So here you really need to. I don't think in this instance you're getting much of a steal opportunity, so it looks like they're looking at a way to get out of this end. Chris McRae here, second for Team Kendall Thompson. Looks like it's going to be a hit and roll. Sweeper's working on this one here. Looking for the roll. Will remove one blue stone and move the other to the top of the button. A little bit more open. Third stones here, Colton Steele. I've talked to Colton in advance of the game, and they seemed pretty positive with how they've played so far through 3 games. Really getting a handle for the ice and maintaining that positive energy that has made them one of the more popular teams on tour. They're always known for being pretty energetic out there. So Sweeper's working on this one, try to get a bit more curl to get toward the shot stone at the button. Will do so. Rolls open side. Sweeper's working on this one here from Steele. Scrapes by, will get the hit, rolls over, will sit a count of 3. Just barely scraping by there, and really just one of those confidence booster types of shots when you're playing that well. Looks pretty tight here. It's going to need to almost run that same line there. It does. Where will it go? Looks like it will be, yeah, it will be just enough to be shot stone. Second, third, and fourth will belong to Team Stuart Thompson. So when we come to you at it will be 7 o'clock with the women's event, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. It looks like that event really starting to come down to a pretty tight grouping up at the top there, as Tanya Hilliard and Colleen Jones will be at undefeated going into this fourth round. So that's going to be a big one for the viewer, everyone to watch between the two undefeated teams, and then of course two familiar foes in Jill Brothers and Marianne Arsenault sitting at 2-1. Teresa Breen and Mary McKetton Driscoll sit at 1-2, and then the 0-3s are Team Manitow and Julie McAvoy. Sweepers working on this one here from Stuart Thompson. Gets the hit, slides right by. Wow. Definitely causing some nerve-wracking moments there for anybody watching this one for sure. So, big shot here for Kendall Thompson. Needs to really get a nice positioning here, probably as far as they can behind the guards, and really put the pressure on. Looks good to me here to get by. The question is, where does it stop? Looks like it will come to rest at the back of the four. So facing a count of one right now going into his final stone without the last rock. Stuart Thompson, the defending champion out of the Dartmouth Curling Club. Looks pretty good based on the last few shots there, so just waiting for it to come down nicely there. Sweepers working on this one here, coming down nicely. Where will you go? You will go to the top of the button. So really it's going to be I honestly don't know what you do if you're Kendall Thompson. you really could. There's the only option, and it looks like they may be going with it, is trying to navigate a very tight port there and try to get it on the outturn side. But it's going to need to be pretty much perfect. Big shot here, final stone end, number 7, Kendall Thompson. Facing a count of 1, needing to navigate a tight port here for 2. Sweepers working on it here. McCrae and Brophy, they're going for it. Sweepers working on it there. Will get there. Will it be enough? It appears like it will. It will be a count of 2. I think they're looking at it. If it wasn't 2, it definitely was an excellent attempt. Yeah, it will just be a single point there for Kendall Thompson. So that'll make the score 6-4 in favor of Stuart Thompson, and Stuart will have the last rock in end number 8, playing the Blue Stones. So while we get a chance there, we have to send a huge shout out and thank you to the awesome crew here at the Dartmouth Curling Club, led by Lynn Burgess. Her third time there as chair of this event, and Dartmouth always has been putting on a really good show. This event, a real challenge to put on, especially when it's a full week of competition and the little intricacies that go into a big event like this. They definitely do a great job, and we thank her and her team for the great work that they do, and of course the members for coming out to help out, and of course giving up their ice time for the week. So Coulter attempting the tick that ends up, looks like it may just be holding on. No, it's not based on that. So opportunity here for Kendall to try to manufacture a steal here. Got to get a multiple back for sure.
Timeout. Charlie Blue.
So sets up another guard, but now opportunity here for Team Stuart Thompson to jump back in with a bit of the defensive style game and move a few rocks around before the 5-rock free guard zone comes off and it jumps into the more hitting style that you would expect. So, unfortunately, a missed attempt on that tick shot. So they'll replace that stone up at the top, and play will continue. So Sweeper's working on this one here. Brophy and Everest on the stone from McRae, trying to draw in behind cover. Will do so. Draws to the top of the button. So one of the events there that people are also taking a watch at is that of the New Holland Canadian Junior Championship that is currently taking place this week out at the George Preston Recreational Center in Langley, BC. And it should be a fun matchup coming up, as Team Taylor Stevens, our Nova Scotia representatives, face off against Team Zacharias. Actually, they faced off yesterday against Team Zacharias. They're 7-6. But currently, they sit with a record of 5-1, second in the championship pool now. Could be a big opportunity to see a Nova Scotia team make the semifinals, but a long way to go there. Big wait here from Mackenzie. Jams, so produces an opportunity still. Got Team Stevens in the championship pool along with Manitoba, Alberta, Ontario, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Quebec. Of which the playoffs will come up on the weekend. Yeah, Mary Madital, who her team are playing in the provincial Scotties, coaching the Taylor Stevens rink out there. So we do wish them all the best of luck. And then, of course, also have to remember their team, Graham Weagle, that they are currently playing in the championship pool as well. The team of Graham Weagle, fourth stone thrower Owen Purcell, second Jeffrey Mayer, and lead Scott Weagle, coach Anthony Purcell out of the Chester Curling Club. Currently sitting 4-2, so they're sixth place in the championship pool. But a long way to go, as there's 4 teams currently holding a 5-1 record. Sweeper's working on this one. Colton Steele trying to get down to it. Will nudge one of those stones there while removing the other. Sit second shot. We'll let you know here as Thompson, correction, my apologies, Kendall Thompson there. I have to remember there's multiple Thompsons in this matchup. It is a steal of 1 for Jamie Murphy in end number 7 to take a 6-3 lead against his longtime rival Chad Stevens. it's definitely a little bit different than what we've been used to of having two Thompsons on there, because usually I'm so used to commentating this game alongside Stuart and Kendall's sister Selena there, who has been commentating on a lot of games there this week. Usually she's a little bit nervous when these two come up against each other. I know that for certain, alongside I'm sure a lot of their family. It seems always these two teams come up pretty often in the late stages of these events. Big weight here from Colton Steele. Gets the hit, removes his own guard. Definitely one for sure in favor of Kendall Thompson, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here. It looks like they're gonna protect a bit, I think. I may be wrong. So on to skip stones here. Kendall Thompson in 8, down by 2. Looking for the guard to protect his stones at the 4-foot. Looks good to me here. Needs to stop. Looks like it just over curled a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see whether Stewart wants to make a play on that. Looks like he's already eyeing that. Timeout called there.
Timeout Delta Blue.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. It's a really tough situation here for Team Kendall Thompson, trying to hold these two into potential scoring position. I think the big question in this instance is simply being able to avoid. My apologies. If you're Stewart, your question is, do you double now? Or do you potentially guard up and maybe bank on a potential miss later? It would be a worry there simply because you could end up having to face a multiple of more, potentially up to 3. So it looks like they've decided what it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be the attempt at the double. So it will be interesting to see here. Big first shot here for Stuart Thompson. Going a bit down weight here, Coulter and McKenzie. Moves time around. Does still leave Kendall Thompson and his team sitting shot stone, but second and third in a pretty good position there.
Just want to leave him something on his last.
Opens up some opportunities for later in the end. As we see another timeout called there. So really, it's going to be a tough call in positioning because you really need to be able to make it a lot harder on Kendall Thompson. To me, the problem is you want to try. In the ideal scenario, you want to straight freeze it, but if you are the least bit off, there, it could produce opportunities to have Stewart remove both and potentially score 2 or 3, which would almost certainly end the matchup. To me, looking at this there, you almost... I think you honestly do the double now. And then force a big shot at Stewart to take a single, but looks like he's going to be going into the house freezing, which that is risky.
I think that looks like ice for fun. Yeah.
It is definitely a risky call, but if you place it just perfectly, it could be a good opportunity to steal back. Final stone for Team Kendall Thompson without the last rock. And number 8 here on a Wednesday afternoon at the Dartmouth Curling Club. Looks a little bit heavy to me. Looks like they're looking at opportunities of a little bit of an in-off, because I don't think that they think that you can really remove both 2. One of those little one of those little hit and hope style shots here. Team Kendall Thompson really playing this end well to be able to force the his brother's team there to potentially take a single if the... Oh. And wow. It will be a steal of 2 to tie up this game at 6 apiece. Wow. In a match that looked pretty much like it was going to be all Stuart Thompson. Kendall already with his team currently performing extremely well under a very tough circumstance there to be able to get back to tied. Now two ends to go. And the hammer will belong to Stuart Thompson going into the 9th end of play. Update of the games across the sheets. It will be a 7-4 lead for Brent McDougall as Andrew Gibson takes a single in the 7th. In our other feature game with Jim Nix over on sheet C, it is a steal of 1 in favor of Matthew Manuel to take a 7-4 lead in that contest. And then over on sheet E, as we mentioned, it is a steal of 1, 6-3 in favor of Jamie Murphy. As we get started here with this ninth end, you already saw a center guard thrown up by Michael Brophy. And it looks like he's setting up another one. Sweepers trying to work hard on this one to get it across the hog line. Will do so. And then there, Travis Coulter already drawing open side in the 12-foot.
He went on? Yeah. I think there's a corner. Oh, was it? I think. Yeah. I would guess. Yeah, that would be my guess.
So already looking at making their way into the house now. Sweepers working on this one. Coming up nicely. Looks like it's going to come top 8. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely interesting to see some of, just hearing some of the spectators there beside me talking a little bit about the family ties in this Dwight Tankard, and it's not only the brothers that you see on this sheet. There's also another set of brothers there, as you have Paul and Mike Fleming, who Paul was playing with Jamie Murphy, and then Mike Fleming playing with Andrew Gibson. Big weight here from Mackenzie, looking for the peel, we'll get it. So holding the shot stone right now. Team Stuart Thompson. It'll be interesting to see when Kendall and his team opt to come around two center guards that they've already placed earlier in the end. Well, looks like they're going to probably do that now. Wow, that is curling a lot. Looks like it will be just a little bit too far. It's very close though.
It's hard to tell. Yeah.
So you're going to see now Cameron McKenzie going for the double peel here. Try to remove the two yellow center guards. Boom, boom, and takes out the other two and moves them right off.
Someone stepped on it.
So, currently holding a very tight position here. It'll be interesting to see what Bryce ended up to do. I really don't know, honestly. If it were me, you could draw around, but then there's issues there when it comes to potentially Stewart running that one back. You also could play a little bit of a defensive shot by more opting to play onto the one at the side of the 12 and then put some pressure on in that way. Both teams conserved a bit of time there. Looks like it's down now to about 10 minutes now for Stewart and about 7 for Oh, my apologies. I may be seeing the wrong one there. Either way, it looks like they've been able to get enough time to get back in. So it looks like they did play onto that zone there at the 12. Comes to rest at the back. So it'll be interesting to see whether it comes down to maybe a measure or something to decide that this end. Okay. So it looks like there, yeah. And to answer what I was looking at there, yeah, Stewart is down to about 8 minutes, and then Kendall to about 11. Which usually in this type of format where it's thinking time, usually you want about excuse me, 3.5 to 4 minutes to play an end, especially this late in a game. You probably want a little bit more just to be a bit sure that you have all the time you need to make the right calls there. Shotstone for sure belonging to Stuart Thompson. Second and third a little bit questionable as to which one's which. Bryce Everett third stones for Team Kendall Thompson. Sweeper's working on this one here. McCray and Brophy gets the hit, rolls inside. So now definitely you're going to see some weight thrown for sure from Colton Steele. So, looking for some heat here. Big one here from Colton Steele. And a laser of a shot, but takes out the one at the back. Still leaves shots down belonging to Kendall Thompson. Colton can really throw those lasers at there and really came up big for his team. So Skip Stone's here. Kendall Thompson looking to guard up the position that he has. Will come to rest off center line. Question is, does it open up the path? It does. So, big opportunity here to manufacture a multiple point end here. Stuart Thompson.
Timeout. Echo. Blue.
He held a 4-0 lead early, and then his brother Kendall roaring back. So where we're tied through 8. Does come a little bit short and over curls, so maybe that was a setup shot for his final stone there, but I don't think so. Could be some opportunities there though. Hey, I'm trying to be positive. All depends really on what comes out of this stone here from Kendall Thompson. If that run back remains open, you can surely bet that it's going to probably be able to take it. His team known for their hitting ability and proving that throughout this game. It is curling. How far will it go? It will barely. It looks like it's going to be fully buried. You want to go for the back one. The question is how much space you have to do it. You probably have to go. I don't even know what weight you would throw for that one. It does curl a lot in this position, though. Probably, yeah. You only have to move it a little bit to be shot there. But the question is, are they looking at the possibility of it trying to make it a multiple there of at least, maybe even 3? We'll see what happens here. As you'll see, Kendall Thompson waits on the back as Stuart Thompson goes final stone. And number 9. Looking like tap weight here. It's coming now. Will it? It will sail by. Whoa. And in a bit of a shock to pretty much everybody here, it looks like it's gonna. It is another steal, as it will be a 7-6 lead for Thompson through 9, and Stuart Thompson will have the last rock in end number 10, playing the Blue Stones. Well, let you know their update of the games on sheet B. It is a single for Brent McDougall to take a 8-4. Andrew Gibson. Matt Manuel leads 7-5 after 8, and has the last rock in end number 9 after a single point taken by Alan O'Leary. And on sheet E, a point for Chad Stevens in the 8th end, and Jamie Murphy will have the hammer up by 2, a 6-4 lead. And now you're up to date of all the games across the sheets here at the Dartmouth Curling Club. So as we see, Brophy already set up a corner guard on one side there, and you'll see Colton Steele and Cameron McKenzie just dusting in that corner guard attempt as well from Travis Coulter there for Team Stuart Thompson. So gonna see a very aggressive end here. You really, we'll probably see Stewart trying to push hard for his deuce to try to get the win. For Kendall, it's not the world if he did drop a single to send it to an extra, as it's as they would have the last rock in the extra if Stewart only score a single point. Sweepers right off on this. Gets it to the back of the 4. Sitting shot, stone buried. Probably going to see Chris McRae trying to play down onto that. Sweeper's working on this one here. Everest trying to hold the line as best he can. Looks like it will be on the guard. It will. Definitely opens up the path toward the shot stone. It looks like there will be a final over on sheet B, as it will be a final score of 11-4 in favor of Brent McDougall with a win over Andrew Gibson. So that'll be a big win there for McDougall to keep his hopes alive. Still needs some help to be able to jump up into contention.
No, it's been pretty good.
Pretty good weight there from Cameron McKenzie. Does come in to sit shot stone, so calling for backline weight there, I believe, was the call from Kendall. Calling for Chris McRae, his second. Up by one, but without the last rock in at number 10. Looking to keep their Tim Hortons Briar hopes alive. Just working on this one here. Taps the shot stone. Will sit in the area. Looks like they'll probably avoid that just simply because sitting 1-2 will still be Stuart Thompson. Cameron McKenzie on this one here, second stone for Team Thompson. Looking for about top 12. Looks like that's where it will be.
Get it across the face.
Nicely. Could be few potential for drag effect
I still think that
to play it
you're not losing the blue though, so no. Hopefully you lose the red yellow and then something good happens. That's my one.
into this shot for sure.
But it's going to drag towards each other, which is whether it's agile enough next to
Sweepers working on this one here. McRae for Everest. Gets the hit, drag effect, of course, and leaves sitting shot stone. So definitely big play in the clutch here from Kendall Thompson and his ring. Need to keep their hopes alive with a win. Stewart and his team are 3-0, so they really have lots of time to still keep it going. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like they're looking at the possibility of playing a little bit of what I would almost characterize as a circus shot there, with a little bit of that hitting the yellow corner guard onto the blue corner guard, and then that seems pretty lined up there to me there, that if you hit it just inside the nose, you're gonna have enough to line it up.
Oh, we're doing it. I love it.
And with laser there that you would see
Stand up. I trust him.
Colton throw it.
Who's throwing it?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be straight.
Yeah.
Like you're pretty much are almost hitting exactly where his brush is, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be a big moment in this matchup. Big shot here, Cameron McKenzie sweeping on this one. Colton Steele calling on it to go.
Yes.
Big shot there from Colton Steele.
There's too many cards though.
That was sweet.
Yeah, true.
Gets the hit. It's hit shot Stones hitting 1-2. And the house is split too, so that will also have an added factor in the,
Sitting on top of each other. He just has to make contact.
Yeah.
update of the games over on sheets E that are the last ones out here other than our matchup here. It is a 9-5 lead in favor of Matthew Manuel with a deuce in the ninth. It looks like it's going to be a pretty clean cut open end there. And it looks like it'll be Jamie Murphy that will pick up the win over on sheet E. As I think there were handshakes in that matchup. So yeah, that will put Jamie Murphy to 4-0 and really solidify his chances toward making the final. Of course, first place in the round robin at the completion of the 7 games would earn a bye to Sunday's final and would be 1 win away from the Tim Hortons Briar. Looks like just playing a guard here, try to avoid the potential. That stone just thrown by Team Kendall Thompson to be put into use. So down to skip stones here. And number 10, Thompson versus Thompson battle the brothers on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Hope you have enjoyed this matchup. Yeah, I've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Some of the great pictures from our crew at 360 Live. Powered by Bell 5. And we thank them for all their great work on this event as well. Thompson calling on McCrae and Brophy to go. And looks like it'll be light. Ooh. Timeout called there. She's D here. Now we'll send Team Thompson's coach out to the ice.
Everything's the same, like, I don't know what happened.
There you go. So it's going to be an interesting play, and really, question is, do you go in now, or do you look at the possibility at what Kendall can do on his final and then go for it then? Either way, you're going to have is how much room are you going to have? So to me, I think the one that's the biggest danger is actually the one there that I can't. Either the two side ones just simply in that there's a pretty good straight run, almost similar to the shot that you saw Colton Steele throw earlier in this end. Excuse me there. So it looks like playing around here. So we'll see here. First of two from Stuart Thompson. Down by one, but with the last rock here in end number 10. Looks like they're gonna try to get second shot because I'd agree with what I was hearing around there. That Kendall is definitely gonna go at it.
They were okay.
Starting to come now. There you go.
Thank you. Color rope?
Gets the draw in behind, sits 1-2, so game time for Thompson. Thompson to be exact.
This is your table. Are you taking this with you when you leave too? Or please do, because that might take some.
Are they going for this? I think they are.
Just to be, what? I think they're going to finish.
Looks like
He's drawing. Yeah, he's drawing.
it looks like they're going for the draws. So that means that they're probably banking on the potential there that Stewart has not got, and that would push us to an extra end if that does occur. Final stone without the last rock, Kendall Thompson, facing a count of 1. Gotta go there, boys. Gotta go. Looks like it will go there. How far will you get it? Siebert's working on it there. Will draw to the top of the 4-foot, sitting second shot. So it looks like I wouldn't hazard a guess there. They're probably playing a bit of the in-off. All you need is a little bit more than a skinny chunk of the 4-foot.
He's got a shot. Charlie Blue.
Score you your 2 and get you the win. You at least have the opportunity to push this game one more end already in place. Big shot expected here. Final stone. Stuart Thompson, the defending champion. Doesn't look like it's going to curl. It will get to the nose, so it will be a single. So the Battle of the Brothers will go one more as we're off to extra ends, ladies and gentlemen. Tied at 7 apiece here at the Dartmouth Curling Club. The team's having a little bit of a kicking off with this extra end. So we'll try to as well keep you up to date. We're It looks like that's just about nearing its conclusion. As it's currently a 9 lead for Matthew Manuel over Alan O'Leary, the former world senior champion. So definitely quite an interesting matchup. There are a few big shifts in momentum. It was a 4-0 lead after 2 that Stuart Thompson had, but then you had steals of a 2 in 8 and a single in 9, and that pushes this game to where we are now, an extra end. So Kendall definitely stepping up to the plate as his team at a 1-2 record. They need a win here against to advance on to keep his hopes of a trip to the Tim Hortons Briar alive. But then again, of course, you have the champion with the big experience level that he has, trying to get to another undefeated record and earn a bye to the final. Currently 3-0, but in a tough position going into that final end. Gets the 1 to force extras. So it looks like, yeah, they're fair. As it appears to be a win for Matthew Manuel. Running them out of stones, it will be a score of 9-5. I believe. Big win for Matthew Manuel. So now down to this. One more game here on the ice during this draw. Dartmouth Curling Club. Thompson versus Thompson, as we'll see Travis Coulter kicking it off for Team Stuart Thompson. The last rock will belong to Kendall Thompson in. So center guard set up there from Coulter. Now you'll see Michael Brophy going for the come around draw, trying to set up position pretty early in this extra end. Looking a little bit to the back of the 4, predominantly in the 8-foot there, so opportunity to adjust there for Travis Coulter. Sweeper's not really touching this just yet, but it looks like it's starting to come down now. Will come to rest, just biting into the 12-foot.
I know Donnie yells every day, but you generally get yelled at.
Yeah, they said that they said good job, but it's
You're having your test.
Brophy here.
So it's February 15th to May 1st. And then from there,
Looking to play down onto that. Stone at the 12-foot will get it. Bounces in himself. On the second stones here, Cameron McKenzie, the new addition to this Stuart Thompson lineup this season, and definitely playing particularly well this looking for a big shot in the big moments here. Sweeper's working on this one just a little bit. Comes to rest, just biting the top of the 12-foot. Scott McRae, sorry, Chris McRae. I'm so used to one of the other broadcast things that I do there. There's a cameraman named Scott McRae there, but yeah, this is Chris McRae there on that one. Second stone. Gets the peel, rolls out. So it'll be interesting to see when opts to make his way into the house in this extra end. Sets up a center guard once again. Chris McRae again called upon to play the peel, and that really would make it a very big shot there for his team there. Will get the blue removed, rolls over for his stone at the top of the 12. Not really going to be as much of a factor in this type of an end as the predominant one to look at for the Yellowstones is the one at the back of the 4-foot. For those of you who may be tuning in from Sheet C, where you saw Matthew Manuel defeat Alan O'Leary by a score of 9-5, this is Stuart Thompson versus Kendall Thompson, as we have an extra end in play. Defending champion with a 3-0 record, taking a single in end number 10, so it is Kendall Thompson with the last rock in the extra end, playing the Yellowstones. It'll be a big win here potentially for Kendall Thompson if they do get this matchup, as in the only 2 meetings this year so far between the wins for Stuart, 5-2 at the Mayflower Cash Spiel and 7-1 at the Jim Sullivan Classic. Third stones here, Colton Steele. Expect to see them start to make a move now away from the center guards and more toward making a play toward the shot stone at the back of the tune. Everest going for the peel. Will remove one blue, moves the other one over. So now it looks like Stewart's going to make his move. Go for the draw to the shot stone at the back of The big play in the big moments has been what Thompson's been exceptional at the past few years there, Stewart. Neglected style in his win last year to pick up the Deloitte Tankard title and send him off to the Tim Hortons Briar. After doing it once, they want to do it again, and this event is what they've got to win to do it. Sweepers working on this one, McKenzie and Coulter. All you got, boys. There, looks like it's going to be a little bit shorter than they want that, and that is definitely see time called there from Team Kendall Thompson that both teams, I believe it's 6 minutes for the extra end timeout each. And it's really one of those situations of what do you want to leave Stuart Thompson to throw on his final stone. To me, definitely, I guess the only shot you really have is try to defend against one of the draws and force Stewart onto the harder of the two. Right now, it looks to me like the intern is probably going to be the go-to. Big shot here in the extra end for Kendall Thompson. His first of two. Sweepers working on it this year. Gotta go, boys. It's starting to come down. We'll get it by the first. Will it be by the second? Will bump the blue into what appears to be a second shot position. Immediately there from Team Stuart Thompson. Really, it's going to be a tough position to simply, you need to, both draw lines are pretty much down to play the wide spot around or go for the tap on the blue. The tap on the blue looks like it would be, if I were thinking in the context of what would I do if I were Stuart Thompson. You're a hitting style team, so playing a little bit of that upper opportunity, and if you can get that maybe flop a little bit, maybe it would produce a lot more pressure onto Kendall on his final stone. And Stewart puts the brush down for his third Colton steal and heads down to the hack. That looks like it's what it's going to be. Tied up, extra ends here at the Dartmouth Curling Club. Stuart Thompson looking for a little bit of family bragging rights at the Nova Scotia Provincial Men's Curling Championship, the Deloitte Tankard. Kendall Thompson looking to keep his hopes alive of heading off to Kingston, to the Leon Center for the Tim Hortons Briar. Big shot here, a tap to really make this game just a little bit more difficult. Stuart Thompson. Line looks good here. McKenzie and Cole to watch for it there. It's gliding a little bit there. Sweeper's working on it. Looks like it's gonna gets the tap, will sit right there, will sit. Shot stone. But definitely a makeable run back, it looks like, is what they're looking at. And now Stuart Thompson has done all he can do. Comes down to this. Will it looks to me, question is, are they looking at anything other than the run? To me, that's the right call. Yeah, yellow on to blue, and that's pretty what you need to win yourself this match and put your record back to a 50-50 record. And very brushed. It looks like he's going for the draw. It's gutsy, but it is there. It's tight. But if there's any teams there that can do it, it's the ones that are in this championship. It does have a lot of curl there. Tracy Froud and his crew have the idea. So final stone, extra end, facing a single point there. Sweeper's watching it there. McCrae. It looks, it's curling. It will be there with a fist pump there. What a shot there. As it will be a win. I don't even know how many that was there in the end there, but there will be a one, at least a one, enough to be an 8-7 in there. As the skipper, Kendall Thompson, comes up big with a big draw and a big fist pump to the crowd to extend his record to 2-2. Stuart Thompson falls to 3-1, but still a lot of tournament to go. And I guess that will be it for the men. We'll pick it up this evening at 7 o'clock with Draw 4 action. Till we talk to you again,